What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Now I'm running on about 3.5 hours sleep here, so bear with me if I start rambling. As you will likely know though, the Conservatives won a massive majority last night, wiping the floor with the Labour Party in an epic destruction of their entire voting base and outright rejection of Jeremy Corbyn's poisonous ideology. The Tories finished the night with 364 MPs to Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party stuck down there on a pathetic 203. With the Lib Dems also losing plenty of MPs, including every single one of the defectors, Chuka Ramuna, Sam Gyimah and the rest of them. So it was a very good day overall. Now, I said it during my stream last night, the Labour Party are going to be stuck in this rut for a while if they don't purge it out, which, to be honest, they won't. So hey, more good news for us. But there was some disappointments last night, obviously, with no Brexit Party MPs getting in, and the fact that in some places we could have had Brexit Party MPs where Labour MPs sit now, and Tory MPs where Labour MPs sit now if the Brexit Party and Tories actually did a pact. We could be looking at closer to 400 Tory seats, and at least a few for the Brexit Party, putting Labour well below 200. But obviously that's not how it worked out, so now we have to wait for the next general election to see if the Reform Party, as they will be called, can get some support to change our corrupt political system. Anyway, the point of this video is to go over as many of the traitorous MPs from the previous Parliament who got handed their P45 this morning and directed to the local job centre. So let's go through some of the juicy Ramonas who got drained from the swamp. And we have here Jo Swinson, Liberal Democrats, and probably the highlight of the night for people getting booted out. An argument possibly can be made for Gawke and Grieve, but definitely Jo Swinson. Swinson narrowly lost her parliamentary seat to the Scottish National Party by just 149 votes, in perhaps the biggest shock of the evening. No, not really, I had predicted she was going to lose her seat a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember what video it was in, but I said she's going to lose her seat. Actually, I think it was the Andrew Neil video, if memory serves. I said she's going to lose her seat in that. The DUP's Westminster leader, Nigel Dodds, has also lost his seat, who has been the MP for Belfast North since 2001. He lost that to Sinn Féin in one of the biggest results of the night. Yeah, that's not a very good situation for Northern Ireland there. Zac Goldsmith, Conservative. Goldsmith lost a by-election in Richmond in 2016 that he had initiated himself by the act of resigning his seat over the Tory party backing the expansion of Heathrow Airport. Won it back in 2017 and has now lost it again. So that's a Brexiteer that we have lost. Not all good news, obviously. But considering what the Tories have arrived with, it's not really the end of the world and is not going to really matter. Next we have David Gawke, Independent. Once a stalwart in Theresa May's cabinet, Gawke was kicked out of the Conservatives for voting against a no-deal Brexit. He stood against his old party in South West Hertfordshire to make a stand for centrist politics, but won only 26% of the vote, and the Tories retained the seat. So there goes David Gawke, guys. As I said during the stream, it's great news. Bye-bye, mate. You won't be missed. Next we have Dennis Skinner, the Beast of Bolsover, or the Beast of Bollocks now, because that's it, it'll be the Beast of the Job Centre. Skinner had been the MP for Bolsover since 1970. It has been a Labour seat since its inception in 1950, but the Tories turned Skinner's 5,288 majority into a 5,299 majority of their own, so a complete swing there the other way, and more good news for Brexit and democracy, of course. And Maine, Conservative. Maine lost her 6,109 majority in St Albans to the Lib Dems. Maine was a Brexiteer in a Remain constituency. Well, that's not really surprising and is one of the few gains the Lib Dems made. I'm pretty sure it doesn't make up for Jo Swinson getting sent packing though. Next we have Dominic Grieve, Independent. The former Tory Attorney General, who was one of the main agitators against Brexit in Parliament, lost his bid for re-election as an independent in Beaconsfield, even though the Lib Dems and the other Ramoning parties were giving him half a chance there. He still couldn't win, so fuck you, Grieve. Next we have Laura Pidcock, one of the most boring people I've ever heard speak. The Tories took the North West Durham constituency with a majority of just over 1,000. Unseating the rising Labour star, or as she should be called now, the falling Labour star, because she ain't rising anymore. Next we have Mary Creed, Labour. Creed, a former shadow front bencher who represented Wakefield since 2005, lost as the Tories comfortably overturned a 2,176 majority. Mary Cree, catch you later. Next we have Caroline Flint, the former government minister, who also served in the shadow cabinet, lost Don Valley to the Tories on a 9.6 swing. Of course, Caroline Flint is a Brexiteer, but while she's still Labour, we want her out of the door. So, bye-bye Caroline. Next we have Joe Platt, the shadow cabinet minister responsible for cyber security, lost Lee, formerly held by Andy Burnham, after a 12% swing to the Tories. The seat has been Labour since 1922. So that there is a really big take for the Tory parties, guys. I mean, it's not a big name being kicked out, but at the end of the day, that is still a big seat for the Conservatives to take. Next, we have Anna Turley. Redcar a Labour majority of 10,000 overturned. Days earlier, she had spoken to BuzzFeed News about the struggles she was facing on the doorstep. Well, what did you expect? This is why you should have forced your party to do what your constituents had told you to do, otherwise you end up in the shit like this. But well done Labour, we're very happy you've done it. Next, Helen Goodman. Labour, her seat, Bishop Auckland, saw a 6.8 swing to the Tories. It had been Labour since 1918. Bye-bye. And that there is another amazing one. 100 years as a Labour seat has now become Tory. It goes to show what Corbyn and Brexit have done to the Labour heartlands. Susan Ellen Jones. Jones, for Clyde South West, lost her seat she had held for 9 years after her 4,000 majority was overturned. Catch you later, Susan. Have a good one. Emma Reynolds. The Tories overturned a majority of 5,000 in Wolverhampton North East. Bye, Emma. Vernon Coker. The Shadow Secretary for Northern Ireland lost his seat in Gedlin after a 5.2% swing from Labour to the Conservatives. Enjoy that P45 and Job Centre, Vernon. You won't be missed. Gordon Marsden. Marsden's slim majority of 2,523 was overturned by the Conservatives. Scott Benton in Blackpool South. Bye, Gordon. Paul Williams of Labour. The Tories romped to a win in the marginal of Stockton South, which Labour had won on an 11.5% swing in 2017. Once again, bye-bye, Paul. Next, David Hanson. The former Minister of State for Security, Counter-Terrorism, Crime and Policing had been MP for Delin since 1992. It went to the Tories. David, bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed that P45 for the first time since 1992, mate. Next, Phil Wilson. Wilson was elected as a Member of Parliament for Sedgefield in 2007. He lost it after a 12.8% swing to the Tories. Richard Burden, Labour. Burden had been MP for Birmingham North since 1992. He lost by 1,640 votes. Bye. Jenny Chapman, another casualty on the shadow front bench. Great news. Chapman was part of Keir Starmer's Brexit team, but lost Darlington to the Tories. Well done, darling. Let's clear out that shadow front bench. Next up, we have Lisa Forbes, as you will remember, from Peterborough. Forbes lost in Peterborough to Paul Bristow, having won only 6 months earlier in a closely fought by-election, of course with the Brexit Party, where the Brexit Party could have been in back then. But that was another highlight, if you ask me, of the election last night. Lisa Forbes losing her seat. Emma Dent Coad. Dent Coad stole Kensington from the Tories in 2017. The Conservatives regained the seat after a tight three-way race that included the former Tory Sam Gyimah, who is also no longer an MP. So he was definitely one we needed drained from the swamp, a traitorous Tory. Nick Dakin, Labour, one of Corbyn's opposition whips. Dakin had been MP for Scunthorpe since 2010. His vote fell by 15% and the seat fell to the Tories. Ta-da, mate. Laura Smith. The 34-year-old took the Crewe and Nantwich constituency in 2017 by just 48 votes. The Tories gained it back after getting 53% of the vote. Ruth Smeeth, Labour, one of the Jewish MPs who clashed publicly with the Labour leadership over its handling of anti-Semitism. Smeeth lost Stoke-on-Trent North to the Tories by 6,286 votes. I expect momentum and the Labour leadership wasn't really helping her out up there, and of course Labour's policies, along with Jeremy Corbyn, will just compound that fact. Gareth Snell, the 33-year-old, has been the Labour MP in Stoke-on-Trent Central since 2017, but was another to fall as the city swung to the Tories. Paula Sheriff, the Shadow Minister for Mental Health, was another frontbencher to lose her seat, as the Tories swept through Labour's heartlands. Dewsbury went to the Tories by 1,561 votes. Next up we have Tom Brake, who, almost on par with Joe Swinson, I was very happy about going. The Lib Dems spokesperson on Brexit and international trade, lost Carshalton and Wallington to the Conservatives by 629 votes. Oh, Tommy boy, we'll see you later, mate. Sue Hayman, Labour. The Shadow Environment Secretary lost in the coastal town of Wilkinson, having had a 3,925 majority. The seat had barely passed out of Labour's hands since 1918. So, another Labour stronghold, guys. Gone. Workington man. Sarah Wollaston, Liberal Democrats. Wollaston, the chair of Parliament's Health Select Committee, was another high-profile defector from the Tories who lost their seat. She was defeated by 12,724 votes in Totnes, where she had been the MP for 9 years. That's what happens when you leave. Anna Soubry, otherwise known as Anna Sozelberry, TIG, the Independent Group for Change, in other words, just her. One of Parliament's most outspoken Remainers, Soubry was one of the few MPs still under the Independent Group for Change banner. She finished a distant third in Broxtowe, which remained in Tory control. Bye Anna, you better hit the bottle, love. And finally, Frank Field, the chair of Parliament's Work and Pension Select Committee, was a Labour MP for nearly 40 years before quitting the party last year. He ran again in Birkenhead, but finished well behind Labour. So there we go, guys, that is the full list. There is some big names on there and some good ones, obviously Swinson, Gork, Grieve, Brake, like I said. It hasn't included Luciana Berger on there as far as I'm aware, or any of the other defectors, but I said about them during the thingy anyway. Everyone who defected to the Lib Dems didn't get back in as far as I'm aware. One or two maybe they did, but from what I can find, none of them have. But like I said, it's 650 MPs and I'm half dead. But on that note, this video has gone on for longer than I wanted it to. Before I go though, I want to thank our PayPal, Patreon, Subscribestar and YouTube members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I'll see you all in the next one.
This Parliament is a dead Parliament. It should no longer sit. It has no moral right to sit on these green benches. They don't like the truth. Twice they have been asked to let the electorate decide upon whether they should continue to sit in their seats, while they block 17.4 million people's votes. This Parliament is a disgrace. But they're too cowardly to give it a go. But the time is coming. The time is coming, Mr. Speaker, when even these turkeys won't be able to prevent Christmas.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires, and that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.